Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Child, Katt Williams is always gonna come out with the truth and information on topics that other celebs wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Now he just confirmed for once and for all that those Diddy tapes are selling on the dark net, and how Diddy might just come out of all of this unscathed.
Right. This is part of a strategy, and there's clearly a PR and a communications way of going about this that's tied into what they want to be both the legal and the financial outcome. So it's not an accident. And I agree with the assertion that the time for leverage is before the unnamed celebrities are outed or their names are become public, even if they're just allegations. So it seems pretty clear to me that this whole rollout of the press strategy is meant to support and they're using the media as a tool and seizing on the fact that the allegations are so incredibly salacious and disturbing, and its possible outcome is to avoid being named and to avoid having your brand connected with P. Diddy's, because his at this point is completely toxic. I don't think there's any scenario under the sun under which he comes back from this. So if you have the opportunity to settle this and to keep your name out of the headlines, that would be the course that I would advise, and I think most celebrity clients would prefer.
Katt has been calling out Diddy for years, and now that he's never leaving Cell Block 1, he isn't about to let Diddy's accomplice get away scot-free either. We've been hearing for a while how Diddy got those tapes on everybody from rappers to actors, famous singers, even prominent politicians. They say Diddy's been collecting evidence on everyone for close to 30 years. So why hasn't at least one of them made its way to the internet now that he's locked up? Well, it looks like we may never see any of those tapes come to light because they're being shopped around.
Alleges that Diddy kept a vault of tapes documenting his alleged sexual encounters. Was there any hard evidence that such a vault existed?
The sources say there was a vault that existed, yes, and some of the tapes were flown out of the country on a private jet. That's from the sources directly, so I have to believe them. If she's angry, if she's fighting back, because we know through, and I'm going to reveal some of these other things that are on the drive that discuss why she was doing it and when. Okay.
So you didn't. These are other things that you didn't include in. Correct. And why did you keep that out?
Correct. Because I can't reveal everything at once. It's too shocking. If I was to release those tapes, the world would shut down. Okay. If I showed one of these tapes, I'm telling you right now, the whole music industry and Hollywood, it would just grind down like this. They're all going to start pointing at each other like this, and it's going to be bad. We've already set it up. We have multiple attorneys. We know how to do it.
And now Diddy's trial has officially been set to begin May 27th, 2025. And a lot of celebs are making moves to erase all evidence of their involvement with Diddy. Jay-Z wiped his IG clean. Usher deleted about 7,000 tweets, and even Pink wiped her Twitter clean. And then Jaguar Wright dropped something that no one was expecting.
Well, considering that the is selling his own evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder? Why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of all just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people, or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas.
Okay, now let's be honest. Jaguar did say some wild stuff, like really wild. But hey, she's been talking about what Diddy has been doing for years, and most of the stuff that she said about Diddy turned out to be true, so I wouldn't put anything past sis. Anyway, so the tapes that are being passed around for millions on the dark web allegedly feature celebs like Nicki Minaj, Justin Bieber, Usher, Ashton Kutcher, Kevin Hart, and maybe even some politicians. And Jaguar claimed that one of the tapes sold for $500 million. Now that's an insane number to wrap your head around, but it's hard to believe that just one tape sold for that amount, even if it contained a bunch of A-listers. But the tapes are selling and going fast.
Recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
tape.
can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
Oh my.
Katt Williams has been saying that there's no way that the celebs and politicians caught in these tapes are ever going to let them see the light of day. These people have spent years trying to sell a perfect image to us, and the facade of Hollywood would collapse if those tapes ever got out. And that's why they're shelling out millions to buy the tapes that they're featured on.
Where he got of doing those things, all those allegations by himself. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true, what's not true. Only true part about it is videos, conversations, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't even the main reason why Katt Williams is risking it all to talk about this. Diddy is living in his own personal hell behind bars and is putting the pressure on his attorneys to get him out no matter what it takes. And when I say no matter what it takes, baby, I mean they are pulling every string and trick that Diddy has left to make sure that he can get out of this, even though his public image is already in the gutter, baby. Diddy will have to settle every lawsuit, but he doesn't have that kind of money coming in since he's been dropped from endorsements and other businesses that he either owned or collaborated with, and he's constantly losing money the longer he has to retain his legal counsel at this capacity. Diddy's attorney fees are between $150,000 and $180,000 per month. Child, that's about as much as New York rent, and he has to maintain that, especially with his trial so close.
Have had a devastating impact on Diddy's money. He's now worth around $400 million. Conservatively, and those numbers are not likely moving in the right direction. He is not poised to make more money. He is not poised to be more profitable. He is not poised to be more successful in the financial markets than he is right now. And of course, again, the reason is the Cassie lawsuit didn't just take money from him, it took tens of millions of dollars from him, to be sure, allegedly, but it also brought negative attention. It brought negative brands. It turned his brand negative. It brought more lawsuits. All of these things are part of the issue.
Diddy's billionaire friends might still be supporting him behind the scenes, but with everyone watching, there's only so much they can do before being outed for still being connected to and having their names attached to the diddler. And since most of them are jumping ship and leaving Diddy to deal with his mess, he's doing whatever he can to earn some money. Y'all check and see if he got an OnlyFans. I kid. The value of these highly sought after videos has maintained their worth due to the fact that no one has seen them yet. Diddy knows that and is allegedly using these tapes not only to get more money for his trial, but to maintain his influence and power.
Is that A lot of people are probably worried, very worried. I think that just not music industry. I think that also people in the entertainment field as well, because Sean Combs he had a net that went very, very deep into Hollywood, into producers, into actors, into musicians. And I think everyone wanted to go to a Diddy party at one point in their careers, because that was kind of like the thing. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I remember I knew people that were invited to Diddy parties. I was never invited to a Diddy party. And I thought to myself at the time, boy, I wish I could go to a Diddy party. And now I'm so happy that I never did. But yeah, I think that the worrisome part here is that you have an individual who's sitting in jail. That never helps the psyche. They start offering deals. They start asking, talking to the prosecutors. I don't think he's going to cut a deal. But listen, I've been wrong on that before. I've saw people that I thought were like real guys that, would never flip, never turn, AKA Sammy the Bull, AKA any of those guys, and you think these guys would never turn. They're never going to, give up that lifestyle. They're never going to turn, and they end up turning. And in today's society, it's not that big of a deal. Back in the 90s and the 2000s, snitch, snitch, snitch was a big deal. And now you see most of these guys flip, and it's not that big of a deal. Now, do I know if he's going to flip? No. Do I think that that he may? It's always a possibility. But I think for him, it's more of clearing his name. So I think he's going to go to a trial. And then at trial, if he takes the stand, I think, yeah, people should be worried, because he's probably going to mention some names that I'm sure were unindicted co-conspirators or cut deals with the government, and you're going to see a flood of individuals.
The streets are saying that Diddy, through his attorneys, are making sure that these celebs stay loyal to him by blackmailing them. And the crazy part is, Katt claims that Diddy may have made copies of these tapes, and the ones that are being sold on the dark web are solely to raise money. Baby, there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to this Diddy case, and the feds are definitely monitoring the dark web just to see how things are going to play out in case they need to step in. And people have been wilding out ever since Katt exposed what was really going down. Quote, I believe this. It's also blackmail on the low. So the celebs that are feeling guilty will come running to pay for their footage. This demon is not going out alone, end quote. Quote, if I was on tape, I would say go ahead, release it. The truth shall set you free. Kind of like pulling off a band-aid, end quote. And another, quote, no one in their right mind would buy those tapes from him. He definitely has copies, and this is just to raise funds, end quote. But do you guys think Katt is onto something and those tapes will never come out? Let's talk in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. See you in the next video.